All right, now it's time for the skeg. So making the two big pieces here first, 1/2 inch, 1 3/4. Now just fiddling to get that notch going. Another time where these really cool files come in handy. All right, so with one hand, I'm able to, once everybody is in its correct position, to get that angle going, so I can make the two blocks accordingly. This is a very neat false square from the Veritas company, and it's neat because it's a one-hand operation. So once it's in its correct position, you just have to press on the lever here. It's not as hard as like turning a knob or something. It's a really neat tool. Alright, so this will be my first big glue up on this guy. I'll just clamp all this together and adjust the angles there. And keep an eye on these end grains. So this is about 5 minutes after I've put like a big blob of glue. So it's already penetrated a lot. And that's why I pre-glue the end grains first and let them sit so they can soak up. The more they soak up, the more I'll let them be before I squish it in. Since there's lots of nondescript parts here, I made sure I marked everywhere that I wanted glue. It's going to be easier to assemble, and it's to make sure there's glue everywhere also. Alright, this is after another 5 minutes. As we can see, it's still drinking some glue. Alright, so now this is dry, it's back in place. I used the ruler so I could mark in space where this guy was, because the filler that goes here, if I understand well, it needs to be aligned with the bottom of this guy so that it's being enclosed with the plywood. So I've got these two lines now. This is where it'll align with. Right, cutting gussets, marking, cutting. No big deal. Alright, now all parts have been rough cut. I marked everywhere where there's going to be glue. So I'm going to staple in place, clamp. Alright, so second big glue up. Alright, so this was not extremely clear in my head, so I color coded it. So there's the inner piece of wood, which I believe is this guy between the two V's, orange here, which is all the way here, and not in between, all the way in between this guy, because the plywood is there. So this is the piece I just made here. So cut the angle there, put some marks. I'll try and remove the bulk, and I'll be able to glue this guy in. Then there's this piece, which is in 3 parts, again sandwiched between the two plies. So I guess in 3 pieces or 1 piece. Right, so that's the last big glue up, I think. Resurfacing and then gluing the ply. Okay, now I'm just removing the bulk, resurfacing it. So doing the bulk with this guy, and then now I'm just seeing what are the high points. I'm just using like a carbon paper and rubbing it with a flat edge. That tells me all the high points I gotta take care of, because I definitely don't want to touch any of these two surfaces. Right, now that the bulk has been removed, I can go on the sanding table. I put some tape here, make sure I don't touch these surfaces. I'm also going to scribe some lines here with the pencil. Some tricks. I always work next to my table saw, which has the vacuum on, so all the dust goes in there. And this, I talked about it before, but I think it's a cool thing. It's just it's an assembled table from IKEA, which is basically cardboard and pressed wood and laminate. And this was like in the surplus of IKEA. So that was like probably a couple of dollars, that's it. And it's extremely straight and light. Of course, don't forget to scratch the surface to remove the sheen of the production. All right, so this looks pretty cool.